Hey, what is up guys? Jay Burton here, and today I'm going to bring you a demonology focused guide talking about Legion changes, like on the spec specific abilities, the talents, and the PvP talents, and which ones I'm going to be choosing, assuming nothing gets major changes, for PvP. I have a lot of experience in PvP, and I'm going to be doing these guides for every spec, for every class, because as soon as Legion releases, I'm going to get every class and spec to 110 and make guides. So I'm starting ahead now, we're doing my research, and sharing my research with you guys. I will include little timestamps in the description if you just want to skip to the talent discussion or PvP talent discussion, whatever. You can just skip right to it. Alright, so talking about the spec specific abilities first. So starting off, we will get Shadow Bolt. That is our filler, and it generates a soul shard. So soul shard generation is a lot easier now, but we're going to be spending them a lot more. And we get Call of Dreadstalkers, 15-second cooldown, costs 2 soul shards and a 2-second cast, but we summon 2 Dreadstalkers to attack a target for 12 seconds. Remember, this spec is all about summoning demons now. Lots and lots of demons. So now we got Life Tap. Normally, like in WOD, you hardly ever use Life Tap. In PvP, you never use Life Tap. But in Legion, mana is coming back. Mana is going to be a thing again, so life tapping will be important. Hand of Gul'dan, it's now different. It uses 1 to 4 soul shards. And so when it comes down, a meteor comes down on people, and it does damage. And based on how many soul shards you spend, up to 4, you will summon that many imps. So if you use 4 soul shards, you'll summon 4 wild imps. We got Demon Wrath. This is our AoE ability. This is usable while moving. Really cool. So you're going to cause all of your demons to kind of crackle and shoot off energy. It'll hit people within 10 yards of any of your demons. And every time this does damage, there's a 15% chance to generate a soul shard. This is important because in PvP, when we're kiting and we don't have any instant cast spells, this is going to be important. This will give us soul shards while we're running away, so we can get more demons out. Because that's what this spec is going to be about, kiting while summoning demons to do the work for you while you're running away. And then we got the big demonic empowerment. This is what the spec revolves around. Up to 3 of your active demons will gain dark energies, increasing haste and health by 50%. It's a 1.5 second cast, does not use soul shards, and this will use on stronger demons first. Of course, we got our Summon Felguard. Soul Link is now a passive for Demonology. And then we get Doom. You can just recast it on people. Every time it deals damage, which is every 20 seconds, you'll get a soul shard. And then we got the Mastery. Master Demonologist. Demonic Empowerment also increases the damage of all your demons by 20%. So I feel like Mastery will be really important for Demonology Warlocks, and Haste, just to help get those Shadow Bolts off, because they're a pretty long cast time. Alright, so that's all the specific spec abilities. Let's move on to the talents now. So on the 15th tier, we got Shadowy Inspiration. Demonic Empowerment now makes your Shadow Bolt instant cast. I think this is a really important ability, and I will be running this in PvP. There's Shadow Flame. It just deals a damage in AoE, and then does damage over time, and then it generates a soul shard. And you get 2 charges of it, and it does stack. Now, I apologize, it's not AoE, it's just single target. It used to be AoE. Then we got Demonic Calling. Shadow Bolt has a 15% chance to make your next Call of Dreadstalkers free. This will be good in PvE, not PvP. We're not going to be able to spam Shadow Bolt all day long. Shadowy Inspiration is what you want. Level 30 tier, Impending Doom. Doom also summons 2 wild imps. Not bad. Improved Dreadstalkers. I like this one. Call of Dreadstalkers now also summons 2 wild imps. I like this one, and the wild imps will also be riding on the backs of the Dreadstalkers. It's just an amazing sight. And you got Implosion. This one can be useful if you're needing to have like some kind of burst comp, or if you're in 2v2 and you're running a burst DPS comp. You want to use this ability. Get your your Hand of Gul'dan, get some wild imps out, do whatever you can just to get more out, and then just have them all blow up on a target. It should do pretty decent damage. In the 45 tier, you got Soul Leech. Really doesn't fit here. Your Shadow Bolt gives you a little shield. It's just like it used to do. Not really useful at all in PvP. Mortal Coil fears a single target, and you get healed for a little bit. And then Shadow Fury, well, except now Shadow Fury has a 1.5 second cast. It's no longer instant, and it stuns all enemies within 8 yards for 3 seconds. So I will be using one of these 2. I think I might still go with Shadow Fury. Well, I don't know. That 1.5 second cast time sounds a little rough. Next tier, 60 tier. Hand of Doom. Hand of Gul'dan now applies Doom to all targets. Not bad. That'll work out well with Impending Doom, I believe. That'll help, really get those imps out like crazy. Then we got Power Trip. This is the ability I like. Demonic Empowerment now affects all of your demons instead of just 3. You're going to have times when you're going to have like 9 to 10 demons out. If you give all of them 50% haste, plus, your mastery, which is an additional 20% damage increase if you don't have any mastery at all, which is unlikely. Really awesome ability. That's what I'll be using. Then there's also Soul Harvest, which it's a 2-minute cooldown. You just get all 5 of your soul shards back, so if you want some good on-demand burst, great ability. Once again, if you're in a 2v2 environment and you're running a burst comp, I would probably recommend this one. Now, 75 tier, it's kind of our mobility and shield. I would actually take Demonic Circle, most likely. Maybe not in 2v2 burst comp, I will not be taking this. But in a normal 3v3 environment, Demonic Circle, it's like what it used to do, just teleport you away to safety. You get Burning Rush, sacrifice health to get movement speed increase. It's okay. And then Dark Pack, sacrifice 20% of your demon's current health to get a shield of 400% of the sacrificed health. 1 minute cooldown, not bad. I would run this in 2v2 burst environments. In the 90 tier, I still don't know what I want to use in PvP yet. Grimoire Synergy is probably a pretty decent one. What I'm a little confused on though is whenever your demon gives you the 15% damage increase, does that in turn increase, since your damage is going up, if that increases your summoned demon's damage, or if it's just your own spells like your Shadow Bolts? If it is only your Shadow Bolts, I really don't like this ability at all. Unless you're running Demon Bolt, then I can see it being really good. However, so now we have Grimoire Service. So every 2 minutes, you can summon another demon, an extra demon, to benefit from your Power Trip or your Demon Wrath. It might be good. And then Grimoire Supremacy, your main summon demon has 20% more health and does 20% more damage. So I really don't know on these. At the moment though, I'm probably going to stick with this one. It's a nice easy passive. When I do find out more about Grimoire Synergy though, if my damage gets increased, and therefore it increases my pet's damage, I'm probably going to go with that one. And the level 100 tier, really interesting. So, I don't like this change. They did have 2 different demons in this spot, and they looked much cooler. Now we got the ugly-ass Beholder pet. Regardless of what he looks like though, still pretty cool talent. So this is another ability to summon another demon. It costs only 1 soul shard, 24-second cooldown. Summon a Beholder that will launch eye lasers that hit all targets that you have doomed. So that's actually really cool. You get your doom in a 3v3 environment. Everybody has doom. Summon him out. He's doing damage to everybody at once. Pretty cool. I don't know how a line of sight will affect this. If somebody's behind a pillar, if he'll still hit them. I think it actually will though. I think it'll work like a Boomkin's Starfall. Cause I think you can, even if you LOS start. I'm not even sure on that now. I'll have to do more research on this ability. But anyways, I'm already liking the way it sounds. And then you got Demon Bolt. This actually sounds pretty cool. In PvE, I think this will actually be really amazing. But draw energy from all your demons, launch a ball of demonic energy at the target, dealing 100% spell power, and then the damage is increased by 30% for each demon you have active. And it generates a soul shard, replaces your Shadow Bolt. So I feel like this is amazing for PvE, but I don't know how I'm feeling about it for PvP yet. This actually could be a powerhouse ability. Needs more testing. But right now I'm feeling Summon Beholder. And then of course Demonic Servitude. We can now get our Doom Guards and Infernals, permanently, instead of calling like a Felguard or something. So this is my current setup that I'm going to be running for PvP, assuming nothing major gets changed. I'm really excited to try this out. Alright, so now let's move on to the PvP tier. Now remember, Honor works out differently in Legion. It no longer is for buying gear. Honor is for leveling up your honor level. You start out at 1, max out at 50, and like Call of Duty Prestige system, they're adding it here. Once you hit 50, you can Prestige, start back at 1, but get cool upgrades. Like, I know there's mount rewards, titles, emblem changes, I think even transmog maybe. I need more info on that as well. But, sounds pretty cool. Gives you reason to keep playing the game, once you're max level. Screw it, I'll Prestige. Now, the downside, I think if you do Prestige, and like let's say you're a 2K rating person, and you Prestige from level 50 and go back to 1, I think you're only going to have that level 1 like talent for arenas. I'm not sure if in like conquest related areas, if you'll just get all talents available or not. I kind of hope you don't, because it really gives you reason to grind that out. But hey, we'll find out more later. So anyways, let's start off. Talent Tier 1. So you start off with Gladiator's Medallion. Basically your 2-minute use trinket is just no longer a trinket. And then at level 13 you get adaptation. I'm not too fond of this one. Every 90 seconds your trinket will auto use. So in a way you can get out of stuff more often, but it might trinket out of something that was, I don't know, pretty silly. And then at 31 you can get relentless. Duration of all incoming crowd control effects reduced by 25%. I can only see this being useful as if you're versing like an RMD, some super heavy CC comp that just constant chain CCs back to back to back. That's the only time I will actually consider using that. So most of the time I'll still just take the typical Gladiator's Medallion. In the next tier, this is pretty much all similar to casters here. You got Train of Thought at level 2. And your damage is increased by 15%, but every time you're attacked, the effect is cancelled for 8 seconds. I do not like this one. Maybe in RBGs, when you're sitting at max range as a caster, you can benefit from this, but not in arenas. You're hardly ever going to be able to maintain this up. I do not like it at all. Now the next one though, at level 16 you get Mind Quickness. This one I do like. Increase your haste by 6%. That's a big increase. And as Demonology, I'm okay with that. I am completely fine with getting more haste. Easier to get the Shadow Bolts off and such, so that's great. And then at 34 there's Initiation. I think the name will change. That's why there's the NYI. But in critical strike chance increased by 30% on targets at or above 80% health. This one I don't care too much about either. It sounds cool to start the match off or somebody gets top back off. But whatever. Mind Quickness is what I will be using. Now the third tier, I am so excited for. I am so glad they brought this back. The different curses. So Curse of Tongues, if you don't remember what it does, it increases the cast time of all that person's spells by 30%. So if you put this on a healer, it's going to be harder for them to get cast off. I am so excited for this. And I think mages are losing Dispel Curse. So Curse of Tongues will make it hard for them to get their polymorphs off. Really amazing. Then we got Curse of Weakness. Reduce the physical damage by 25%. Also amazing. However, it only lasts for 10 seconds and it's a 20-second cooldown. That is something to keep in mind. Then there's Curse of Fragility. I don't really care for this one. Reduces target's maximum health by 20%. Maybe for versing some herp derp tanks, this can actually come really in handy. But I'm actually going to use either using Curse of Tongues or Weakness, depending on the comp. Even if there is one melee person, I'll probably still take Tongues. But if it is double melee like a TSG setup, probably going Curse of Weakness. Now, next tier, Nether Ward. They finally brought this back. I'm so excited. This used to be like a Destruction Lock specific ability, I remember, in Vanilla and BC. And it reflected Fire and Shadow, if I remember right. But anyways, now it's all spells. 45-second cooldown. For 5 seconds, it'll reflect all harmful spells on you. Great if you're getting focused, or if you're having to, reflect that Cyclone, that Polymorph, whatever. Great a talent. I'm so pumped for this. Then we got Spellstone. This one doesn't really look all that great. When you use a Health Stone, you dispel all harmful magic, disease, and poisons. That sounds great. But I'm pretty sure you can still only use one Health Stone in Arena. Maybe in the 2v2 burst environment, this will be helpful. And there's Demon Skin. Gain 20% of your total health and a permanent physical damage absorption shield. The absorption slowly regenerates over time. Not bad. Versing double melee, I think this wouldn't be too bad. Most of the time I will take Nether Ward unless I just cannot benefit from it. If it will not reflect anything helpful, then I will probably take Demon Skin. Spellstone I'll have to experiment more with. I'll have to see how many more debuffs are actually going to be brought into Legion. Because if there's a lot, this actually will be really important. In the next tier, I am not really enjoying this one. Singe Magic, you have to have your Imp out for this. Every 15 seconds, your Imp can remove all magical harmful effects on you, which is actually really nice. I just hate having the freaking Imp out. So, I don't know how I feel about that one. Because I want to keep the Felguard out for his Axe Stun. Call a Fell Hunter. Every 24 seconds, you can bring out a Fell Hunter to cast Counterspell on somebody. I actually am probably going to be using this one, because I want to keep my Felguard out. And so with this ability, I can still keep my Counterspell Interrupt, which is great. You can't actually use this, though, if you do have a Fell Hunter out as your normal pet. And this one, I need to experiment with, because I'm a little bit confused on how it's worded. So when your Succubus is active, your shadow damage is increased by 15%, and the cast time of your Shadow Bolt is reduced by 0.5 seconds. So your shadow damage is increased by 15%. So I'm wondering, if any of your demons do shadow damage, does this make those demons do 15% more shadow damage? Or is it strictly just my Shadow Bolt and such? Because if it only affects me, I actually could care less about this talent. and would go with Call Fell Hunter and stick with using my Fell Guard. So I don't know. I need to learn more on that. And the last tier, I really like this talent right off the bat. Increase the duration of your Dreadstalkers and Wild Imps by 100%, and the cast time of your Dreadstalkers is now instant. The reason why this is cool is since it's a 100% duration increase, you can really increase the amount of demons you have out at once. So any abilities that are revolving around more demons increasing your damage, like if you're running Demon Bolt talent, this will really help your Demon Bolt damage skyrocket in PvP. But also, this will help your Demon Wrath with the Crackle, where it AoEs around all your pets. More chance to get Soul Shards. But also with your Power Trip on your Demonic Empowerment, you'll make all of these pets that are out at once, do 50% more, have 50% more haste, 50% more health, and damage increase from your Mastery. As you can see, I'm really trying to gear my build towards summoning as many demons out as possible. It's all about kiting and letting your demons do all the work. Now, this one's interesting. It's a 1.5 minute cooldown, which I don't like. Costs 2 soul shards, but at a certain location, you can call down a Fell Lord, and he'll stand in that location, and if anybody comes within 6 yards of him, they will take high damage and are stunned for 1 second. What I want to know is how much high damage will actually be. That'll determine how good this talent is, how useful it is. Because if you're about to kill a healer, and you do not want them to do any cast and you need a little burst, you summon this on their face, they'll take heavy damage and get stunned for 1 second. Or if your healer needs pills, boom, drop this on your healer's face, it'll do high damage to who's on them, and they'll get stunned for 1 second. And what I'm also curious is how long he lasts, or if it's just one hit and he leaves. They don't give too much information on that. But Master Summoner, I'm probably going to use no matter what. And then we got Call Observer. This sounds interesting. You summon a Observer. He keeps a watch over an area of 20 yards, and anybody in that area who casts a spell will take 5% of their total of their health in damage. This is great for people who have instant cast and they're just casting really quickly. Fire mages especially, I think, because fire mages is all about hurry up and cast and get those instant cast power blast. So this could really mess them up. But it's a 1.5 minute cooldown, and you can move out of the 20-yard range, or I don't know. Master Summoner is what I'd probably go. So this right here, this right here is what I would be using in PvP, assuming nothing gets changed. Alright guys, well that's all I wanted to cover. I hope you enjoyed it. If you found it helpful, hit that like button or comment. If you didn't find it helpful, leave a comment and hit that dislike. Let me know. And thank you for watching, guys.